More Equitable Democracy is a national racial justice organization focused on supporting people of color-led organizations to transform our democracy. We are very specifically focused on our electoral system that really is at the fundamental core of who has power and who doesn't in our American democracy. There was a very important figure who was nominated to Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights, a law professor by the name of Lani Guinier. She essentially argued that the Voting Rights Act is completely necessary, but stuck in the 1960s in terms of the only real recourse for communities of color to make sure that they have adequate representation is the creation of the majority-minority district, which ironically requires segregation.
The work fundamentally of shifting from a democracy designed to reserve power to some, to a democracy where power is fully shared. So one of the things Lani Guinier was so great about was thinking about mechanisms, pieces of our institutional design that would actually support the sharing of power.
The significance of her work has stood the test of time, especially now. You all know that right now there is a backlash against multiracial democracy in the United States. But she would also say that the game is rigged in the first place, that winner-take-all single-member districting is a problem. Basically, the existing system allows politicians to select voters rather than voters selecting politicians. It just makes it too easy for politicians to gerrymander and prevent communities from having a fair voice.
The typical way that democracy reform happens is that well-meaning political reformers have great ideas, they move forward with campaigns, and maybe, at the very last minute, invite community leaders of color to join them at the podium to endorse this campaign. That's not at all what we need in terms of really reconstructing our democracy. That's why we launched the Electoral Justice Initiative. We will center those communities that are most impacted through three ways. The first is funding, particularly multi-year funding. The second is research, legal, demographic, redistricting analyses. And the third is technical assistance, particularly a learning community. Currently, 9 organizations across the country have received planning grants from More Equitable Democracy. They will provide us their plans with the change that they want to see in their own communities, and we'll see where there's good alignment. From there, we will make commitments of 3 years for funding, technical assistance, and research to those organizations. Our work is providing the understanding, the tools, and the capacity for those communities that are most impacted to, once again, not just have a seat at the table, but determining for themselves what works best, and then leading those transformational campaigns beginning at home. Our work to support activists in Portland, Oregon is a perfect example. We spend a lot of time working with them to really break down from the redistricting process a deeper understanding of the electoral system in Portland, Oregon. We were able to really support all of those leaders so that they could make the best decisions for themselves and then turn those ideas and that kind of promise of better representation into an actual ballot initiative campaign, which they won by a very wide margin. We are incredibly grateful for the funding from funders who have come in early, who believed in our ideas, our vision, our approach. We now have proof in concept that this change process can work. What we need now is to really scale up. It's really these early stages of investing in leaders, in the research work, and understanding what the problem is. That's where we need the resources to go from 9 planning grants to dozens and dozens across the country. This is what is going to really gain momentum and really shift the conversation towards racial justice in our democracy.